Sorry.
Okay.
Okay, start.
Hi. So for those who missed the dinner rally, we have refilmed this thing because it wasn't so clear. The acoustic wasn't so good. So yeah, we're gonna share with you our dinner rally. What we will be doing today is that we have actually had the anonymous site on our Facebook page. Can see? Okay. So on our Facebook page, if you go down, you can see the anonymous Google Doc, and people have posted questions. And so we felt that we want to use this opportunity to answer these questions. So if you go to our Google Doc, once again, it's anonymous, don't worry. Oops.
Okay, so for those who missed the rally, our campaign manager KEVII has already said one joke to us, so I will just put the joke here so that you guys will miss out the fun parts. Okay, so if you didn't sleep for the entire night, you know that Apple will actually give you a product. Yeah, so the answer is
Apple will give you a free gift, and it's called
iBags. Yeah.
iBags, get it? Right, it's just an intro.
Okay.
And just for information, in case you're watching these two videos at the same time, the first rally and second rally, Hongxi is not wearing the same dress. It's just the same color. They look the same.
And I really wash my stuff properly. I'm a very clean person. Okay.
Okay, so the first question is, not sure if you can see, but instead of speaking about how you will handle certain issues in hall, the person asks is, what are the things that is out of the control of the president? What are 3 issues that the president can't control and cannot do because of perhaps, not because of personal incapacity, but like structural constraints? So firstly, what I think that even we come to you with these ideals, we come with these visions and ideas, but what is important is that the hall leaders who are implementing these changes and ultimately guiding the residents to work towards the same vision must be on board. Because of course, if they are not on board, then that is one of the problems that we cannot control. So although these are things that we cannot control, as in we cannot ensure the outcome, but what we can do is actually we are looking at this buy-in concept. And I think in business, this buy-in concept is that when you have an idea and you explain to a person, and the person actually buys in and understands it and shares the same vision, then that is when you can actually implement these changes and reach your vision and your ideals. So firstly, as a JCRC is meant to provide the vision, but these leaders will need to be in on the vision. So how do we ensure that we actually pass on this vision is that firstly is we must share all this with the key stakeholders, the leaders. And we will do this through having like focus group discussion and feedback sessions. So before we I feel that it's important before we, as a JCRC or as any leader, before you just share your ideas, what you must do before that, you must do your groundwork. You must ask people, get feedback whether it's feasible. Because sometimes people may have all these great ideas, but going down the ground there are constraints in individual CCs that are not highlighted until you get feedback. So we are actually practicing what we want to instill if and when we become elected, is that we are getting feedback. Now we are actually arranging to meet the different key stakeholders of the different sectors, CCA leaders from sports, block heads, incoming and outgoing, which we have met yesterday to share our ideas. And that is another reason why we are actually not releasing all of our ideas at one time, because we felt that we want to get feedback first, get what is the ground feel and whether it's feasible, and then we will refine it and take on suggestions by the CCA leaders themselves, so that at the end of the day there is a buy-in from everyone. And once there's a buy-in and everyone is on board, then definitely this will not become a constraint anymore. Yeah. And yeah, second thing is funding. Funding is definitely one thing that is out of our control, because the final decision, of course, is in the higher management, like the JCRC and the school. But of course, what we can assure you is that we will try our best to provide to push for funding accordingly. And one thing that the current President Jamil shared with us is that one very good way to tackle this problem of funding is that you involve the RF. Because each CCA has an RF, but currently I think somehow because of maybe people are busy and all, the RF are not as updated and not kept in the loop. So similar to the buy-in concept, if you know RF are more, the CCA shares more of the RF, then perhaps this is one of the way where they may be more convinced to fight for you for funding, because definitely they have more power. Then of course lastly, at the end of the day, this as I said, funding is out of our control, and if it's rejected for some reason, we just feel that we must be accountable, and we want to explain to whoever who are affected as to why it was rejected, and I think that is one of the best things that we can do. Yeah. And then the last issue that I felt was something that is out of our control is when we step up and try and collaborate with other halls. One of the concerns raised, for example, was that other halls may not be so willing, or funding may be a problem. But of course that does not stop us from trying. For example, because one of our ideas for cultural is that taking it to the next step, taking it to the next stage. For example, we talked to Chinese drama people, and they felt that a bigger stage was good. But at the end of the day, what are pertinent issues are like funding, and this could be expanded, and we can achieve, instead of just plainly tackling the problem of funding by saying, okay, let's ask for more. What you can do is you collaborate with others who already have funding, and this will increase the pool of resources, and perhaps a bigger stage is possible. So one of our ideas is of course to push for more collaboration, and we actually have talked to other halls, and as one of the exciting areas that we think that we can develop is collaboration with UTown, because UTown are up and coming colleges. They too have the same student pool, and students will have the same interests, but what makes them different from us is that they are very new, and they have not established what we have. For example, hall production, Chinese drama, XQRJ and Xingyao for culture and band and choir and yeah, I hope I say. Yeah, so and we actually, for example, we talked to the Peter and Alice Tan College, which used to be called Angsana College, and the initial feedback is that yes, it's a good idea, because they are looking for ways to actually improve their student life, but at the same time there's so many new CCAs to contend with that not everyone has the expertise to help them. So I think that this is where we can step in, we can involve them so that they start learning before they actually have their own, and so these collaborations are actually like new ideas that we have. So we felt that this will be one of the constraints, is that at the end of the day it depends on the other side, and it's out of our control. And so the second question, moving on, is that basically it's based on the recent John Wong incident, who the person said that he felt left out, and the question asked is, how will we respond to comments and accusations that the blog.com is not doing its part to promote blog culture?
Okay, so for this question, I will answer it. So basically for the John Wong incident, right, this incident of like being like people not participating enough in hall, they are being left out in hall, it's not exactly unique to KE7. Because I follow AS Confession like every single day. So there was another post by RH resident, who was also talking about the same problem. But then that post got like around maybe less than 10 comments, but for K7 one it got like up to close to 100 comments. So this difference is the reason why it blew out of control. But as someone who stays in KE, I actually felt happy that this post by John Wong actually got a lot of concern, because like it shows that we residents we actually care for each other, and we are willing to step up and then say, hey, ask for dinners and then go dinner together. And personally for me, I PM John Wong at around 2 AM plus, although he or she didn't reply me, but then I just want to tell, as in, it's just our little part to show that we actually care for our residents. Although it might be left out, or maybe we are too busy with our own life, we sort of like left out people that maybe stay in the same block, but then at least it shows that KE actually care for the people. Okay, second issue, are the blog.com people doing enough or not? So apparently after our talk with blog.com yesterday, some of the blogs they said that they had AR session, and then talking about the John Wong incident, and I felt that it was actually a good initiative on their side to actually reflect on this issue, and then find out what actually they can do more. And talking to the blog heads, we actually initiated some ideas which we got from KR, which is to call your bloggers down for dinner every day. So we taught this idea to the other blog head, and then Yasmin reflected back to us that say that she actually tried doing it like a weekly thing every Thursday 6 PM to try to get her bloggers down. But then for her, she said that a daily thing would be too taxing on the blog commerce, so she decided to go for a weekly session. So I thought it was quite a good idea. So we actually changed our ideas and then refined it to become a weekly basis, and we talked to the other blog head, and then they said they might actually consider it. And moving on to whether blog.coms are actually doing enough to engage the other bloggers, I felt that based from last year, like there were actually more engagement activities organized by each individual block comms, such as the Demon Angels Week, the Prank Week, the Running Man, etc. So it's actually their effort to actually have engagement activities to engage the blockers, and even if the blockers are not exactly very receptive of like going to a crowd and then mingle with each other, like ABCom, they have this like so-called notice board game. It's like a scramble. Then they just find a word and then they just play on the notice board. I thought it was quite a good idea because they can catch those people who are maybe not that comfortable into stepping into like games like maybe Running Man, so they can actually try out something new like notice board games. So yes, there are definitely rooms for improvement by the block comms to engage more people, but we can't say that they didn't do their part because they really tried a lot. Next question.
The next question, but we just put everything up there in spirit of confession and answering all questions. So, is it appropriate to call your vision of K7 communism? Because I will totally support that. Well, that's a very nice wordplay and pun, but I don't think it's sending out the right message that we're gonna. Yeah, it's not a right message. And I think it's against the law. The police will use the ISA to catch us, so not such a good idea. So moving on, there's a final question again about whether KE7 is being divided into two wings, the West Wing and the East Wing, and they have no chance to bond with each other than through CCA. Then how will we approach this issue? So we felt that actually, firstly, currently there's already one JCRC member who will be in charge of Blockcom, but will also take on other portfolio. So we felt that we will try to get streamline it down and get one person on the JCRC to focus on block culture, Blockcom itself, so that he can have an overall vision and ensure greater collaboration. So during the feedback session, the block heads, outgoing block heads, all shared with us that even though they are very like good friends, then it was important to have one person to actually bring them all together to facilitate discussion, sharing of ideas, and we felt that this is something that should be continued and emphasized on, because with one person being able to bring all the blocks together, he can ensure that all blocks are not divided in the sense that not one block will be like doing more activities while the other are not, but everyone is equal. At the end of the day, while there will be activities unique to certain block, what we want is that the block culture to be similar in the sense that it's equally engaging and everyone participates in it. And of course, one more thing that we want to do is that we have a welfare initiative that we came up with, where we would like for foreign students, this initiative that will look after foreign students, because we felt that at the end of the day, KE Hall should be a home, that the first home and first line of support that they can get. And this should start way before orientation. The first day they come in and there will be a strong, which is currently being done, but we would like to re-emphasize on that, where there's a strong welcoming committee, there's a standard maybe package handout where there's guidance on administrative issues, things that for people like us will not encounter because we have already been doing it for the past 21 years or 20 over years of our life. But these people coming in is a different environment. That simple things like maybe even getting a phone card, they do need to information, and so we want to ensure that all these are done as seamless as possible. And from there, this is a very important part of our welfare initiative. And of course, throughout the year, having talked to quite a few foreign students, a lot of feedback that over the weekends and recess week especially, the hall gets kind of empty. I mean, we are not like overseas where most people live on campus for the entire sem because it's too far away, but a lot of us have played homes here for locals, and even sometimes when I stay in on the weekend, you can feel that, because it's empty, gets a bit lonely. So we felt that this, rather than just having a one-time off welcoming committee, we are during the entire semester, especially during weekends, the welfare side can just organize outings, and it doesn't need to go until like Sentosa or okay, they can just organize simple lunch, just text everyone, hey, who's going for lunch now, and then you just hop over opposite for lunch. I think this will help a lot in terms coming back to Blockcom. block culture, I think this also help integrate because people who are around on the weekends are not just foreigners but also certain locals. Then this is also another avenue to bond and create a stronger block culture. Yeah, and also of course one thing that we felt is that being in my Japanese neighbor, he shared with me today and sharing with him some ideas, he gave me some feedback like we are all Asian, so at the end of the day sometimes people don't really know if you're a foreigner or not. As compared, let's say if you go to other countries like you go US and you know they're all more than obviously you're an exchange student. But here the problem is that sometimes being a Singaporean, they are very shy. So if you see that this person, he may or may not be a foreigner, you just pretend that okay, maybe he's probably not a foreigner, I'm not going to like, talk to the person. And he's sitting alone or because he wants to be alone. So one of the ideas is that, you know, before they come in, especially the first sem, we can put up certain like profile of them, make a picture, a simple picture and a description, so that if we make an extra effort to actually look out for them. And maybe some of you may think this is singling them out and, you know, making them feel awkward. But actually I thought that this could be a potential problem, but actually my neighbor, Naoki, he said that no, actually it's a great idea because this, you know, like at least it breaks the barrier where people are shy, and at least they know that if they are willing to make an effort, then they see the board or they see, oh, this guy is a foreigner, let me go and see him. And, you know, I think it's a good opportunity for this welfare because at the end of the day, really, while hall may be a second home to most of us local students, hall is actually the first home in Singapore, and we should provide the appropriate emotional support and guidance that a home should have.
Okay, the next initiative is called Just Dinner at NUS. In KE7. Like it was something that was discussed in the F block WhatsApp group, and then Leslie was saying, hey, got a just lunch at NUS. I want to have a just lunch at KE7. So I thought it was a great idea to bring on board, like maybe a just dinner at KE7. Like for people who are from different wings or different blocks, they can actually just sign up in this Google Sheet, and then we'll try to allocate people from across different CCA and different blocks. They can just meet up during dinner and then have a new friend or a different chat partner. And for those people who you think that they are better, they are like prettier girls in other halls, like maybe Temasek or Yusof, if you actually would like to have like an inter-hall just dinner, it's also possible. You can actually try it out in KE7 first, and then try to test water with other halls, JCRC, and maybe go for like an inter-hall just dinner, so that different halls can actually integrate and then talk to each other rather than just IHG. Yeah. So.
Yeah, those are all the questions. Keep the question coming in. We will answer them. From now on, we will answer them on Facebook itself because we have no more rallies, or maybe we will film videos ourselves to post it out. So stay tuned. So always remember, at the end of the day, if you want to find out more about us, go on to our Facebook page. It's Hong Kong HONKONG for 57th election. And what we'll be doing is that the next few days, what you can expect from us is that we'll be waking up at 7 a.m. every morning. We'll be at breakfast to sit with you, and this is what we have done today. We want to find out more about you, and as you can see, we have not actually shared everything because we do have ideas and visions and our own opinions of different sectors in hall and different issues, but just putting it all out there is not feasible because I think that we want to have that personal touch, and some people may be more interested in certain areas than others, so we would like to sit down with you and seeing whichever that you are more interested in, share with you whatever you have, and we will, of course, our slogan, hearing KEVIIans and highlighting KE7, hearing is a very big part, and we want to get your feedback. And like I said, buy in, so we want you to be on board. So remember, go to our Facebook page for updates, and you can get to know our policies. Some of the policies we have uploaded in bite size, on photos, one-page photos, so we are not writing two-page essay on each policies. We are not like government, right, white paper. So it's just a point form policies which can be found on our photo album. Bite-size photos, yeah. And I think so far feedback from our morning, I think for us, why we want to walk about and talk to people individually is that when we always find people who share the same ideas. Some people have the same ideas, same concerns, and what if we get like positive feedback? I think this is what is keeping us going, because actually the more people you talk to and the more they buy in, we feel that yes, this is something that we are actually fighting for what people want, and this actually is tiring. I must say, it's tiring, right? Yeah, it's tiring and we are staying up late to discuss a lot of issues and even keeping up with our intense publicity. So all this, I think this, you talk to us and this is, if we are on board with each other, I think this really gives us the energy. So yeah, thanks to actually everyone who has talked to us, shared with us, who are willing to share, and especially to our campaign team. Thank Kevin, Henrik, Tasha, Kashun, and yeah, and whoever who
help us one way or another.
Yeah, because they do not want their name to review, so just thank you to those, you know who you are. Thank you.
Yeah, okay. Thank you. Have a nice day. Bye bye.